Hey folks, for the last lick, what I'm going to be looking at is something that's kind of like a combination of our half-whole diminished sound and our whole tone sound. Something called the altered scale, sometimes known as the superlocrian, because it's a mode of the melodic minor scale. It's the last mode, the 7th mode of melodic minor. I prefer to call it the altered scale because that's kind of what it brings when you're playing it over a dominant chord. So let's have a look at how it's constructed and what it actually brings over this chord. So, start with the root note. Obviously we're playing over this A7. So we've got a root note, then we got a minor second, then we got this kind of minor third, but in this kind of context it's actually like a augmented second interval. Then we got a major third. Then we got our usual, so either, when thinking kind of altered kind of terms, I'd actually call this a diminished fifth, so it's a flat 5. Could also be a sharp 11 depending on context, but we'll call it a flat 5 here. Then we got an augmented fifth. Then we got a minor 7th. Then we're back to the start again. So you can hear it's got a really interesting kind of sound, a lot of outside notes, and what is actually going on here and why it tends to be called the altered scale is we've got all our typical alterations to our dominant chord. So we've got a flat 2, which is a flat 9. We've got a sharp 2, which is a sharp 9. We've also got a flat 5, and we've got our sharp 5 there. So you got all your different kind of chords. You can think of like, like a 7 sharp 5 chord, 7 sharp 5 flat 9. All these different chords. Sharp 5, sharp 9 chord, all these kind of altered chords, which are basically these really jazzy tension chords that tend to resolve. What we're actually doing in this context is we're not essentially resolving with it, we're kind of using it to get outside over the dominant chord, and it brings all these interesting intervals in there. So you can see you've got the kind of flat 9, the sharp 9 that was brought in from our half-whole diminished, but we also have this kind of flat 5 or sharp 11 and kind of sharp 5 going on here from the whole tone. And if you look at actually how it looks in the neck, if I play it along here, and the reason I've done the lick in a particular way is hopefully you can see the whole tone bit and the half whole bit, because the altered scale is the combination of those two scales. So you start off by doing a half step, a whole step, a half step, so that's your kind of half whole, first half of it, and then you've got up to a whole step, then a whole step, then a whole step. Keep going up the neck, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step. So that's quite good from visualising at the fretboard point of view. And so what I'm doing with this lick is I'm kind of using that shape, that kind of shape there, where I'm seeing part of the whole tone, then I'm doing the half whole, the whole tone, half whole, whole tone, then half whole. Okay. So let's actually see what we're playing here. I actually start mostly inside. The kind of first half of it is all really, it's kind of mixed Lydian or kind of 7 sus4 kind of chord tones going on. But the first bit, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be coming in the offbeat on beat 1. So as usual, count your 1 and then start playing the lick. Everything's even 16ths here, and the first little bit goes like this. So I'm just hammering from the root, the 3rd up to the 5th, just a little major triad really. So I'm got the 5th fret of the E string with the 1st finger, a hammer from there to 9th fret with the 4th finger, and my 2nd finger plays 7th fret of the A string. Then from here I'm going to jump up an octave and basically do the same thing again, root to 3rd, so I'm doing 7th fret of the D string, hammering onto 11th fret of the D string. This is where it changes a little bit. I then have this little phrase that goes like this. So what I'm doing is playing 7 on the G, then I'm going to do a pull off 9 to 7 on the G string there, and then I play 11, 7 again on that D string. Okay, so that's kind of like it's 10 notes there. Okay, a little bit slower. So the next little bit goes like this. Okay, and there's a little gap, so when I go from here, little 16th note rest there, and then I go, and actually fingering wise, what I'm doing here is now I'm going to stretch with the 3rd finger, And the reason for that is I want to free up my pinky to play this flat 7 interval up here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm jumping up an octave each time, as you can see. So I'm going to be doing a hammer from 10 in the B string to 14 in the B string there with the third finger. Now that's quite a stretch, so hand position wise, you don't want to be kind of, unless you get big hands of course, you don't really want to be parallel with the frets. I tend to angle my hand a little bit. You can see my thumb's actually not too far down in the neck, it's actually a bit there. But you want to angle it just a little bit so you can reach. And then my fourth finger is going to play 15th fret of the E string, and it's going to pull off to 10, and then I play 14, 10 in the B string again. Chord tone wise, we've got a root, you know, we've got a third, that's a fourth there, and that's a flat 7. You know, it's quite a cool little kind of 7/4 kind of thing going on there. So that little bit goes like this. Okay, so next little bit, same thing, instead of playing 15 in the high E string now, I'm going to play 12 in the high E string. So what I do, using my second finger to play 12th fret, the high E string. Okay, so if I combine that with the first bit, you hear where the kind of 16th note rests are. So it starts like this. Okay, everything there is pretty much inside, all kind of chord tones or suspended kind of chord tones. So this is where we now go into kind of altered sound. So what I'm visualizing here is I've got this kind of shape where I'm going to do a hammer on 10 to 14 again. So it's my root to third. And then what I'm going to do is play 11 on the high E string now. You know, which is basically a flat 5 interval there. Okay, and from here, I've got this little pattern that goes like this. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to be playing 10 to 14 hammer, then I play 11 in the high E string. Then this is the start of the next bar, this is on the beat. I'm going to do a pull off 13 to 11, 31st finger in the high E string, and then I've got my little half hole shape here, so my semitone, tone, semitone. And what I'm doing is I play 14, 11, 14, 13, sorry, and 11, and then I slide back to 10, and then I do a pull off 11 to 10, second to first finger. So slowly that goes like this. Okay, that's it there. And what I'm visualizing is I'm visualizing the shape. It kind of goes 15, 13, 11 in the high E string, and then 14, 13, 11, 10 on the B string now. Then I visualize it down an octave, and then down another octave. That's kind of like my playground for all the notes that I'm going to use. So that's the first little bit. Then I'm going to play 12, 10, 8 on the G string after that. And then I'm going to do 11, 10, 8, 7. So that's kind of like mirroring this bit. So I do 11, 10, 8, 7, and then do a pull off. And I think I'll probably do actually, yeah, little hammer and pull off there. Up here, I actually might pick that kind of pull off. Here I do it as a hammer and pull off. Okay, so altogether, so far it goes like this. And then the last bit, I go 10, 8, 6 on the A string, so that's my little whole tone part. Then I do my little half hole shape, so I do 9, 8, 6, 5 on that low E string there. And you can see I'm always doing like a 4th, 1, 1 shape here. Okay, so that kind of whole last phrase goes like this. It's kind of weird kind of phrasing and stuff in it, but it's just to kind of use the shape and kind of go down. So you can hear that we're in. There, and then we go out. Yeah. And we end on an A there, you know, just back in the root note.